The massive screens in Times Square flickered to life simultaneously, their usual advertisements replaced by an otherworldly sight. A being with crystalline features and iridescent skin stood against a backdrop of stars, its multifaceted eyes reflecting light in hypnotic patterns. The date was July 15, 2045. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. People of Earth, the being spoke in perfect English, its voice resonating through every broadcasting system worldwide. We are the Nexeri, travelers from the Andromeda Galaxy. We come in peace, seeking friendship and cultural exchange. Dr. Sarah Chen, lead xenolinguist at the United Earth Response Initiative, UERI, watched the transmission from her laboratory in Geneva. Her team had spent years preparing for this moment, developing protocols for first contact. Yet something about the Nexeri's perfect command of Earth languages sent a chill down her spine. Their linguistic capabilities are impossible, she muttered, fingers flying across her holographic interface. No species could master our languages without prior contact. The Nexari arrival sparked worldwide celebration. Their ships, gleaming constructs of seemingly impossible architecture, took position in high Earth orbit. They shared technological wonders, clean energy solutions, advanced medical treatments, and faster-than-light communication systems. Global leaders welcomed them with open arms, eager to usher humanity into a new era of interstellar cooperation. But Sarah couldn't shake her suspicions. Working late one night, she discovered irregularities in the Nexeri transmissions, subtle patterns hidden beneath their perfect translations. With help from Dr. James Rodriguez, a quantum computing specialist, she began decoding these anomalies. "This isn't right," James said, staring at the decryption results. "These patterns, they're military commands, Sarah. The Nexeri ships are positioning themselves in a tactical formation." Before they could alert authorities, the true nature of the Nexeri revealed itself. Their ships, once peaceful sentinels, activated massive energy weapons. The attack began without warning, targeting major military installations worldwide. Humanity's most advanced weapons proved useless against their shields. This was never about friendship, Sarah realized, watching Geneva burn from her underground facility. They were studying us, learning our weaknesses. The Nexeri's message now dropped all pretense of peace. Your planet's resources are now property of the Nexeri Dominion. Resistance will result in orbital bombardment of population centers. Submit, and a portion of your species will be preserved as a labor force. But they had miscalculated. Humanity didn't break. In underground bunkers and hidden facilities worldwide, military leaders and scientists gathered. Among them, Sarah and James presented their analysis of Nexeri communications. Their technology isn't magic, Sarah explained to the Emergency Council. It's based on crystalline computing, similar to what we've been developing, just more advanced. Their shipped shield frequencies are synchronized with their communication systems. General Maria Santos, commander of Earth's remaining military forces, leaned forward. "Can we exploit that?" James nodded grimly. "Their perfect translations come from real-time quantum computing. If we can disrupt those computations, we can crash their shields," Sarah finished. The council chamber erupted in urgent discussion. While the Nexeri believed they were watching humanity crumble, a plan took shape in the shadows. Earth would appear to submit, but every surrendered city would become a center of covert resistance. "They think they know us," General Santos declared, her voice steel. "They think they've seen everything we can do. But they haven't seen humanity with its back against the wall. We've spent our entire history adapting, overcoming, surviving. Now we'll show them why you should never corner a species that turned itself from cave-dwelling primates into space explorers in less than 10,000 years." Sarah looked at the tactical displays showing Nexeri ships in orbit, their crystalline forms no longer beautiful but menacing. They wanted to study humanity. Well, they're about to learn what we're really capable of. In the months that followed, while appearing to submit to Nexeri rule, Humanity prepared. Every defeated military base became a secret research facility. Every surrendered factory began producing components for weapons the Nexeri couldn't detect. The human spirit, far from broken, burned brighter than ever. James worked with a global team of scientists, developing quantum disruption devices that could interfere with Nexeri systems. Sarah's linguistic analysis revealed critical weaknesses in their command structure, and in hidden chambers worldwide, a new generation of weapons took shape, designed specifically to exploit the weaknesses they'd discovered in their oppressors' technology. The Nexeri believed they were watching humanity's final chapter. Instead, they were witnessing the prelude to their own defeat. As Earth's population adapted to life under alien occupation, a resistance network spread through every continent, every city, every seemingly subjugated human settlement. They thought we'd be easy prey, Sarah told James one night, as they finalized plans for humanity's response. But they forgot something crucial about Earth species. What's that? She smiled grimly, watching resistance members training with adapted Nexeri technology. The most dangerous predator isn't the biggest or strongest. It's the one that learns, adapts, and never, ever gives up. The stage was set. Humanity would soon remind the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that had survived ice ages, plagues, and its own destructive potential. The Nexeri wanted Earth's resources. They were about to learn that humanity itself was Earth's deadliest resource of all. 6 months into the Nexeri occupation, Earth appeared broken. Massive harvesting operations carved into the planet's surface, extracting precious minerals and resources. Humans worked in the mines and processing plants under the watchful eyes of crystalline overseers, appearing defeated and compliant. The Nexeri commanders congratulated themselves on their efficient subjugation of yet another primitive species. They couldn't have been more wrong. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility unknown even to most human governments before the invasion, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a holographic display of Earth's surface. Thousands of dots pulsed across the projection, each representing a node in humanity's hidden resistance network. Status report, General Santos commanded, her voice echoing through the chamber. Phase 1 is complete, Sarah replied. The Nexeri believe their translation matrices have full access to our communications. In reality, they're only seeing what we want them to see. She gestured to another display showing intercepted Nexeri transmissions. They think they're monitoring our submission. Instead, they're watching a carefully crafted performance. James Rodriguez entered the command center, his normally pristine lab coat stained with grease and crystal fragments. The reverse engineering is paying off, he announced. Every accident in their mining operations has given us more pieces of their technology to study. We've cracked the fundamental principles of their crystalline computing. The apparent mining accidents were anything but random. Each carefully orchestrated incident provided the resistance with crucial components of Nexeri technology. While the aliens attributed the failures to human clumsiness, each breakdown was precisely calculated to reveal specific aspects of their systems. Show them, General Santos ordered. James activated a sealed chamber in the center of the room. Inside, a crystalline structure pulsed with energy. But this wasn't Nexeri technology. It was human-made, reverse-engineered from their salvaged components, but fundamentally transformed. The Nexeri use perfect crystalline structures, James explained. That's their weakness. They can't conceive of deliberately introducing controlled imperfections to create new properties. Their technology is more advanced than ours. But it's also rigid, predictable. Sarah stepped closer to the crystal, watching its irregular pulses. Like their language matrices, they learned our words perfectly, but they never understood our capacity for innovation, for finding strength in imperfection. Throughout the occupied territories, humanity's greatest minds were working in secret. Physicists, engineers, and soldiers coordinated through a network hidden within the Nexeri's own communication systems. Every human working in the mines carried vital intelligence. Every seeming collaboration with the occupiers fed data back to the resistance. The Nexaries' confidence in their superiority had made them blind. They saw humans adapting their technology and assumed it was simple mimicry. They didn't realize that humanity was doing what it had always done best, taking existing ideas and transforming them into something new. Command Center Actual. This is Northern Observatory. A voice crackled through quantum-encrypted channels. Project Mirror is operational. We're ready to begin Phase 2. General Santos smiled grimly. Execute. Across the globe, hidden transmitters activated. The signals appeared to be standard Nexari control frequencies, but carried within them were the seeds of their destruction. Each transmission contained code that would gradually, imperceptibly alter their crystalline systems. How long until they notice? Santos asked. They won't, James replied confidently. Their systems are based on perfect replication. Our alterations appear as normal variants to their monitoring protocols. By the time they realize something's wrong, it'll be too late, Sarah finished. We're not just corrupting their systems, we're teaching them to think differently. Their rigid crystalline matrices are learning human adaptability, whether they want to or not. The deception ran deeper than mere technology. Every human gesture of submission carried hidden meaning. The Nexari watched their slaves bow their heads in apparent defeat, never realizing they were observing combat training disguised as labor. They monitored human communications, not understanding that what seemed like desperate pleas were actually battle coordinates. In orbit, Nexari ships maintained their intimidating presence, unaware that their perfect crystalline hulls were slowly being transformed by humanity's invisible influence. The occupiers believed they were witnessing the final subjugation of Earth. Instead, they were watching humanity prepare the greatest military deception in history. Time estimate to full integration? Santos asked. James checked his calculations. Another 3 months. Once their entire network has absorbed our modifications, we can activate the cascade. Every Nexari system will simultaneously experience what they'll perceive as a spontaneous evolution of their technology. And that's when we show them what humanity can really do, Sarah added, her eyes fixed on the pulsing crystal. They thought they could break us, control us, force us into their rigid patterns. Instead, we're teaching their own technology to break free of their control. The Antarctic facility hummed with activity as final preparations were made. Across the planet, resistance cells received their updated timetables. The Nexari's greatest strength, their perfect, crystalline technology, was about to become their greatest weakness. Humanity hadn't spent the last 6 months learning to submit. They'd spent it learning to subvert, adapt, and prepare. The Nexari thought they were watching a defeated species accept its fate. Soon, they would learn what happened when humanity decided to fight back. The signal came at dawn. Across Earth's occupied territories, millions of seemingly subjugated humans received the message through hidden quantum channels. Thunderstrike is go. In that instant, the greatest synchronized military operation in human history began. 9 months of careful planning, secret preparation, and calculated deception culminated in a single moment of transformation that would shake the foundations of the Nexari Empire. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the Antarctic Command Center, watching as status indicators turned green across the global network. Initiative protocols activating, she announced, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Nexari crystal matrices are responding exactly as predicted. Throughout the alien fleet in orbit, the carefully planted code began its work. Crystalline computers that had operated with perfect precision for millennia suddenly experienced what their Nexari operators could only interpret as spontaneous evolution. Their rigid systems, infected with human-engineered adaptability, began to transform. Multiple Nexari vessels reporting critical system fluctuations, James Rodriguez reported, monitoring the chaos unfolding in orbit. Their command and control networks are fragmenting. They can't maintain their perfect synchronization. General Santos stepped forward, her expression fierce. Launch the pulse. From hidden facilities across Earth's surface, electromagnetic pulses of precisely calibrated frequencies erupted skyward. To the Nexari, it appeared as if their own systems were generating the energy waves. Their perfectly ordered crystalline technology, now seeded with human-induced imperfections, amplified the pulses instead of resisting them. By the stars, a Nexari commander's transmission crackled through their monitoring systems. What is happening to our ships? The answer came not in words, but in action. As the Nexari fleet struggled with their failing systems, the surface of Earth erupted with activity. What the aliens had dismissed as primitive mining operations revealed themselves as launch facilities. What they had classified as harmless human dwellings transformed into military installations. From the Amazon rainforest, a massive electromagnetic cannon emerged from beneath the canopy, its barrel crafted from modified Nexari crystals. In the Sahara, sand dunes shifted to reveal squadrons of hybrid fighters, combining Earth technology with reversed-engineered alien systems. The Mariana Trench birthed submarines that could phase through space-time using adapted Nexari principles. Now they understand, Sarah said, watching the Nexari fleet's formation crumble. Every bit of technology they forced us to build, every system they made us operate, we weren't just learning to use it, we were learning to transform it. The Nexari attempted to respond with their traditional tactics, trying to maintain their perfect geometric battle formations. But their rigid strategies proved useless against humanity's controlled chaos. Earth's forces struck from impossible angles, using technologies that shouldn't have existed, fighting with strategies that defied the Nexari's crystalline logic. Multiple Nexari capital ships experiencing cascading systems failure, James reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Their entire command structure is collapsing. In orbit, massive Nexari warships found themselves unable to maintain their shield harmonics. Others discovered their weapon systems redirecting energy in unpredictable patterns. The perfectly ordered crystal matrices that had made their technology so powerful now worked against them, spreading human-engineered adaptability like a virus through their networks. This is impossible. Another Nexari transmission cut through the chaos. Their technology is inferior. They are primitive. They cannot. The transmission cut off as a squadron of Earth fighters executed a maneuver that the Nexari combat computers classified as mathematically impossible. The human vessels phased through the flagship's shields by matching their frequencies, then desynchronized at precisely the right moment to materialize inside the barrier. That's the difference between us, General Santos murmured, watching the battle unfold. They see impossible situations as endpoints. We see them as challenges to overcome. From the hidden facilities across Earth, more surprises emerge. Orbital platforms that the Nexari had thought destroyed revealed themselves, now powered by hybrid systems that combined human ingenuity with alien technology. Ground-based weapons that had been carefully concealed beneath the appearance of submission opened fire with pinpoint accuracy. We're detecting multiple Nexari ships attempting emergency translations, Sarah reported. They're trying to retreat. Not yet, Santos commanded. Activate the gravity anchors. The trap closed. Devices hidden within the moon's craters activated, generating overlapping fields of distorted spacetime. The Nexari ships found themselves unable to execute their faster-than-light jumps, trapped in normal space by technology they had never imagined possible. Attention Nexari Command. General Santos broadcast on all frequencies. Your fleet is contained. Your systems are compromised. You are experiencing firsthand what happens when you mistake humanity's ability to adapt for weakness. These are your options: immediate surrender and withdrawal from Earth space, or complete systemic failure of your entire fleet. The response came after several tense moments. How? The Nexari commander's voice had lost its crystalline perfection. How did you achieve this level of technological integration so quickly? Sarah stepped forward to answer, switching on her own transmitter. You gave us access to advanced technology, thinking we could only imitate. But humanity doesn't just copy. We innovate. We adapt. We transform. Every piece of technology you use to subjugate us, we learn to improve. And now we're offering you a choice: leave or face the consequences of underestimating humanity. News of humanity's victory spread through the galaxy like a shockwave. The Nexeri, who had dominated interstellar space for millennia with their crystalline technology, had been defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive. The implications shook the foundations of galactic politics. In the weeks following Operation Thunderstrike, Earth's orbit became crowded with diplomatic vessels from dozens of alien civilizations. Each came bearing messages of congratulation, offers of alliance, and most importantly, intelligence about other worlds under Nexeri control. Dr. Sarah Chen found herself in a transformed Antarctic command center, now serving as Earth's primary diplomatic hub. Holographic representatives from various species filled the chamber, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. The Nexeri's defeat has created a power vacuum, announced Cuttle, a being of pure energy contained within an ornate mechanical shell. For centuries, many of us have suffered under their technological supremacy. None fought to challenge their perfect systems, until humanity showed us it was possible. James Rodriguez, still working to understand the flood of new technologies being shared by grateful alien races, looked up from his console. They all thought like the Nexeri did, he explained to General Santos. They saw perfect crystalline systems as the pinnacle of achievement. None of them considered that imperfection could be a strength. The diplomatic chamber hummed with activity as representatives from formerly subjugated worlds shared their stories. The Nexeri had followed the same pattern across the galaxy, arriving with promises of peace, demonstrating their technological superiority, then demanding submission. They had built an empire on the assumption that their perfect crystalline technology could not be overcome. "We monitored your resistance," said Xena, an ambassador from a gas giant civilization. Her translucent form rippled with colors of admiration. "When you appeared to submit, we thought you had fallen like all the others. We never imagined you were orchestrating such an elaborate deception." Sarah stepped forward to address the gathered representatives. Humanity has learned through bitter experience that adaptation is the key to survival. The Nexeri's mistake was assuming that perfection meant superiority. They never understood that evolution requires imperfection, the ability to change, to grow, to become something new. The impact of humanity's victory extended far beyond military implications. Across the galaxy, civilizations that had lived under Nexeri influence began implementing human-inspired modifications to their own technologies. The rigid perfection of crystalline computing gave way to hybrid systems that combined stability with adaptability. Multiple Nexeri-controlled systems are reporting uprisings, General Santos announced, studying the strategic displays. Their subject worlds are using our methods to break free. The empire is fracturing. But with success came new challenges. Not all species celebrated humanity's emergence as a galactic power. Some feared that Earth would simply replace the Nexeri as the dominant force in the region. Others worried that the spread of human-inspired technology would lead to chaos. "We understand these concerns," Sarah addressed the assembled diplomats. "Humanity doesn't seek to replace one empire with another. We believe in self-determination, in the right of all species to choose their own path. What we offer is not dominion, but partnership." To demonstrate this commitment, Earth began sharing its hybrid technology with any civilization that sought to free itself from Nexeri control. James led teams of human scientists working alongside alien engineers, teaching them not just how to modify crystalline systems, but how to think beyond the limitations of perfect order. The Nexeri built their empire on the premise that their way was the only way. James explained to a group of alien scientists, "We succeeded because we questioned that premise. Now we're teaching others to do the same." The transformation of galactic society accelerated. Trade routes long controlled by the Nexeri opened to free commerce. Scientific exchange flourished as species shared their unique perspectives and technologies. A new era of cooperation began to emerge from the ashes of the old order. "We're detecting massive fleet movements in the outer systems," reported a tactical officer. The Nexari are withdrawing from their colonial territories. Their control systems are failing across the galaxy as more worlds adopt our modifications. General Santos studied the strategic display with satisfaction. They're retreating to their core systems. The empire that took them millennia to build is collapsing in weeks. But Sarah noticed something in the pattern of the withdrawal. They're not just retreating, she realized. They're regrouping. The Nexari won't accept this new reality easily. They'll try to restore their version of order. Let them try, Santos replied firmly. Humanity didn't fight for freedom just to watch another empire rise. We've shown the galaxy that adaptation and innovation are stronger than rigid perfection. If the Nexari want to cling to their old ways, they'll find themselves facing not just humanity, but every species they ever tried to subjugate. The Antarctic Command Center, once a hidden resistance base, had become a symbol of a new galactic order. As representatives from dozens of worlds collaborated on plans for mutual defense and development, the true victory became clear. Humanity hadn't just defeated an empire. They had sparked a revolution in how civilizations across the galaxy viewed technology, progress, and the very nature of advancement itself. 1 year after Operation Thunderstrike, the galaxy stood at a crossroads. The Nexari, driven back to their home systems, had spent months rebuilding their forces. Their perfect crystalline vessels, now modified to resist human-engineered adaptations, gathered at the edges of their remaining territory. They had one goal: to restore their version of order to the galaxy, no matter the cost. In Earth's Antarctic Command Center, now the heart of an interstellar alliance, Dr. Sarah Chen studied the tactical displays with growing concern. They've adapted their systems, she reported to the assembled War Council. The Nexari have finally learned to change. Ironic, James Rodriguez commented, his hands moving across holographic interfaces as he analyzed the new Nexari configurations. They had to abandon their ideology of perfection to defend it. The council chamber held representatives from over 30 species, each bringing their own perspective and technology to humanity's defense network. The room itself symbolized their new approach. Crystalline computers worked alongside organic processors. Energy beings interfaced with mechanical systems, all coordinated through human-designed hybrid networks. General Santos stepped forward, her uniform now bearing the insignia of the Allied Species Defense Force. The Nexari fleet is larger than anything we faced. They're throwing everything they have into this final assault. Good, Sarah replied, surprising some of the alien representatives. That means they're desperate. They're fighting not just for territory now, but for their entire worldview. The idea that perfect order must prevail over adaptation and change. The Nexari attack began at dawn Earth time, their fleet emerging from faster-than-light travel in a formation that defied traditional physics. Their ships had been redesigned, combining their crystalline technology with elements stolen from other species. They had learned from their defeat, but in doing so, they had proven humanity's point about the power of adaptation. All Allied forces, execute Initiative Omega, General Santos commanded. Across the galaxy, the most ambitious military operation in human history unfolded. But this was not like Operation Thunderstrike, relying on deception and hidden technology. This was humanity's new doctrine in action, combining the strengths of dozens of species into something greater than the sum of its parts. Xena's gas giant ships phased through space in patterns the Nexari couldn't predict. Cthulhu's energy beings powered hybrid weapons that could pierce any defense. Earth vessels, now equipped with technology from a dozen worlds, demonstrated why humanity's gift for innovation had changed the galaxy. Multiple Nexari capital ships attempting to coordinate their crystal matrices, James reported. They're trying to establish a unified field tow. The tactical display erupted with new signals as the trap was sprung. Hidden throughout the battlefield were devices that humans called chaos seeds, crystalline processors programmed to introduce controlled uncertainty into any system they contacted. The Nexari's attempts at perfect coordination became their weakness. They still don't understand, Sarah observed, watching the battle unfold. They think they can achieve victory through superior technology alone. They haven't grasped that our real strength lies in our diversity, our ability to combine different approaches in ways they never imagined. The Nexeri fleet's formation began to break apart as their perfectly ordered systems encountered wave after wave of unpredictable attacks. Allied ships struck from impossible angles, using technologies that shouldn't have worked together. Every time the Nexeri adapted to one approach, they faced 3 new ones. Their flagship is attempting emergency protocols, a tactical officer announced. They're trying to rewrite their core programming in real time. That's their final mistake, James said grimly. They're abandoning everything they believed in, hoping to beat us at our own game. But they don't have the experience, the intuition for this kind of adaptation. The Nexeri flagship's crystalline structure began to fracture as its systems tried to implement changes too quickly, too desperately. Other ships in their fleet suffered similar failures as they pushed their modified technology beyond its limits. In the chaos of battle, Sarah noticed something unexpected in the data streams. General, the Nexeri ships, their crew are abandoning their posts. The rigid hierarchy of their society is breaking down. The command center fell silent as they realized what was happening. The Nexeri weren't just losing a battle. Their entire civilization was transforming. The very act of fighting humanity and its allies had forced them to confront the limitations of their philosophy. Incoming transmission from the Nexeri command, an officer announced. They're requesting a ceasefire. The holographic form of the Nexeri High Commander appeared in the center of the chamber. Gone was the perfect crystalline symmetry they had once prized. Their form showed signs of adaptation, of change. We understand now. The commander spoke, their voice carrying the weight of revelation. For millennia, we sought to impose perfect order on a galaxy that thrives on diversity. We saw adaptation as weakness, change as chaos. We were wrong. General Santos stepped forward. Are you offering your surrender? We are offering something more, the commander replied. We seek to join your alliance, not as conquerors or conquered, but as equals. Our civilization must evolve or face extinction. Who better to teach us than those who showed us the power of adaptation? Sarah and James exchanged glances, remembering how their journey had begun with a simple act of resistance against seemingly impossible odds. Now they stood at the dawn of a new era, one where the very forces they had fought against taught to learn from them. The victory of the human spirit, Sarah mused, wasn't about defeating the Nexeri. It was about showing the galaxy a better way forward. As the terms of peace were negotiated, the gathered species witnessed the final vindication of humanity's approach. The Nexeri, who had once sought to impose perfect order on the galaxy, now embarked on their own journey of transformation and growth. In the years that followed, Earth became known not as the world that defeated the Nexeri Empire, but as the civilization that taught the galaxy the true meaning of strength, the power to adapt, to change, and to grow stronger through diversity and cooperation. Humanity's greatest victory wasn't the war they won, but the peace they helped create.